have you ever had this issue where you go in and you run a flow from your Power App, but if it fails, it doesn't really give you back any information you can actually, use? In today's Loader Pro, I'm going to show you how you can get better responses back from your Power Apps. Hi, my name is Ace, and let's dive right in. In the background of this, I have really two components. I have my app and my flow. And that's really all you'll need to work with for the most part. Now, there's two parts to this: Power Apps and Power Automate. When we get an error back from Power Automate, essentially what's happening is we sent over information from Power Apps, and it's waiting for a response back. Power Automate took what we had, did its processing, but then dropped the ball somewhere along the line and has no idea where to pick it back up at. Then it just passes back the error and says, hey, something's gone wrong. I'll let you figure it out from here. Well, there are two ways to handle that. Let's skip all of this. The first thing that we want to do is in our app, we want to make sure that we can actually display an error that matters to the user. We can do that through the IfError function. Now, if you aren't familiar with IfError, it essentially just allows you to pass through an error that happened in one part of it to another part of your formula here. If you want a video on IfError, I did a very brief one with a couple of other formulas, which you can see right here or right here. I don't know. I'm not the editor. Hi, editor. So in order to get our app set up, the first thing we need to do is set up our IfError formula. You can see I have mine commented out here just so we can see everything. Here's how this would work. When I get information back from Power Automate, I need to be able to do things with it. I'm not just running a flow and getting nothing out of it. So I'm using the with function to kind of help me keep track of that stuff. Here is how we would read this. So we'll read this from the inside out. We'll say with animals as this flow with the output of names. Then I'm going to clear collect it and split it on animals. If there's a problem with the flow, as in it has failed for some reason, I want you to then get me the first error that came out of that flow, pass it back to me, and allow me to read it. This one is doing a bit more work, but if I go here and I play my app and I put in a name, we get our error. Now that's what IfError is going to do. It's just telling us that there was a problem that happened. Now, if we need to customize that, we can use IfError to display a specific message. So let's say we don't want to display that. We want to just say an error has occurred. That's really all we want to say. Using IfError, we can do that. Let's say we want to see what caused the error and then pass back that information to the Power App. All right, so here's my flow. It's very, very simple. I'm going to pass in the name of the animal, which is what the app is meant for, just to give me animal information. Pass me the name of the animal, run this API, and then from that, I want you to get me all of the names that are out of this. Then I have a condition here to say, like, if there are names or if there aren't, do one of two things. If there are names present in this list, I want you to respond by joining those names with a comma. Otherwise, just kill the flow. Now, if I instead say, I want you to pass back a bit of information. Let's say I want to get back why the flow failed, right? Why this specific select action failed, which is what would be failing here. I'm going to run a little formula here, right? So what I'm going to write is actions, and then in single quotes, my action name. Then I want error. Then I want message. So that'll be the full formula here. And we'll put in a code of 400. Closing curly bracket there. And I am intentionally causing an error here. This is all on purpose. So I'm going to publish this. And while that's publishing, what we'll do is we're going to put this back in. We're going to comment that out. And then let's do this as first error dot message. Okay. With first error, there's a lot of different parameters that we can pull from here. Just to show you real quick. You have kind, details, source, observed, and message. Message is going to be this portion of it, where in this terminate action, I have a 400 code and a message of what it is. Now here, observed is going to give you the time, the source is where it's coming from, and details will have things like the HTTP header, status code, and the actual response we're getting back. So for us, we want message. All right, let's hit it. Okay, so I did plug it in, but here's the problem. It's not giving me any response back, especially not the one that I specifically made for it. So how do we fix that? Well, all this terminate action is doing is sending a specific code and a specific message to the upstream server, which is Power Apps, saying, hey, this flow is done. We're not doing anything else. But we can kind of hijack that same process, make it a little bit different, and send out something slightly better. Rather than using this, we're going to use the response action. This response action is exactly the same as terminate, with the only difference being that you can add more specification. Terminate is just a nice, fancy, and neatly packaged way of doing this. We're going to put our status code as 400, where an error has occurred. And all we're going to do is plug in our body. That's it. Once we publish that, when we're back in the app, we just have to make sure we're getting back that information correctly. Now, first error.message is going to get back some information, but it's not specifically the message we want to intercept. So we need to get a bit more. So on first error, we want the details. And not just that, we want the response that we've created over here. This body is going to be the response that it's looking for. So if I run that again, all right, and if I click it here, well, it's still giving me the same error. Why? Because I haven't specified what's supposed to happen after something breaks. I just said, if you break it all, just do this. Here's how we fix that. We need to move this into a parallel branch, or we can put it at the bottom here. Now, we know that select is going to be our error part. How do we know that? Because I put a null in here. Select requires an array or a set of characters to work with. However, I'm not providing that. So that's where my error is going to occur. Now that means that the condition portion of things is going to get skipped. So I can do one of two things. I can either move response underneath select, like so, have it run immediately after. I can have it move under condition and just change the run after, say like after the condition is skipped, but not after successful. Or we can do the really fancy thing and the actual better practice, which would be to add a parallel branch here. All right. And then for this parallel branch, we're going to set our run after to after it has failed. Now the message on this is going to be the same. And our status is going to be 400. So no matter which one it goes down, it'll find one to work with. And I'm actually going to delete this one just so it doesn't try to respond to it twice and give me 2 errors. Okay. Back in the app, and we're going to refresh our flow. If you're wondering how I got to this, like you're in your tree view, you just click the 3 dots, find Power Automate, right click or click the 3 dots. And then you can refresh your flow. Nice and simple. Now when we hit it, ta-da, we have a better error message. Okay, the from property value in the select is a type of null, whatever that means, right? So we would know in our testing if we got that specific error back or if we got a different kind of error back, we could pass that information directly in. I'm still using that same action select error message that we get from this. Now, if you have an API you're using or a custom connector you're using, there might be a specific way that your outputs are formatted. That's just a matter of maybe parsing some JSON or something similar to where you can get the sort of same output from the message. Now, let's say I actually fix this, right? And I publish. I've now fixed the error. So when I hit this button, I'm actually going to get information back. But what happens if I type in something like a martini, which is not a real animal? I get an error again. Why? Because there's nothing to work with here. So let's get back into our flow and let's see where it errored out so we can fix that. So back in my flow, I'm going to back out of it and I'm going to take a look at this latest run. Now, here's the weird thing. It says it succeeded. And technically it did. The problem is we got no response back from this. And that's because of this condition I have here. I have a condition that says, if the select has no information back, I don't want you to try to pass me back an empty string. I want you to do nothing. Well, that's not really going to work. You have to pass back something or at least terminate the flow in some way that it gives Power Automate and Power Apps a reason to say, hey, we're done or something's wrong. So let's say we just want to make sure we pass it back with a response. This time telling our users like, hey, whatever you put in isn't a real animal. Well, I can put in my error message here. Now, do I know if there's an animal that's called a martini? No. Is there an animal named a martini? Maybe. I'm not a biologist, but let's go ahead and get that published. So at least we get an information back. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to hit this button again. But here's the thing. I don't like the way that that's formatted. We do have to format it in JSON format for the body of a response in most cases, but I don't really like the way that looks. Well, great news. We can fix that. All we have to do is on this output, we just got to get a parse JSON in there. Now, I know that the thing that I'm looking for is called reason, the property rather. This reason is what I want, but I don't want this whole thing. I just want the text after reason. I'm going to add a period here because it's proper grammar. Punctuation. There we go. Now, if I save that, collapse this, and I press play, and I hit the button, Great. There are no animals with that name. Let's say if I do a maned wolf, which is one of my favorite animals. Yes, we have a maned wolf here. And if I type in Frankenstein, I have no idea. And I know I spelled it wrong, but there we go. We have no Frankensteins because Frankenstein was a man, not an animal. Technically, it was the doctor. Semantics. Anyways, so with that, we have the ability to pass back better errors. Not only that, we can use our actions that we have in our flow as a reference point for exactly what went wrong with the error. Alrighty, so go ahead, get out there, make those errors nice and pretty. And if you're curious about any of our other if-error functions or any of our other formulas, check out some of our videos on our YouTube channel where we go over some of Power App's key functions. And if you're looking to get personalized help on your errors, check out our virtual mentoring at pragmaticworks.com/virtual-mentor. Alrighty, if you guys have any other tips and tricks for your errors, I would love to see them down below in the comments. But that will be all for me. So I will see you guys in the next Load of Pro. Bye.